Now we have some breaking news coming in. Several political leaders have weighed in on the Supreme Court's significant order yesterday ordering the removal of all stray dogs from the streets of Delhi-NCR. Now the Congress leader and of course the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, has labelled the Supreme Court's order to shift Delhi-NCR stray dogs from the streets to shelters as a quote-unquote step back from science-backed policy, unquote, and said that their removals are cruel and short-sighted. Now, his remarks came a day after the top court in a suo motu case on the rising stray dog problems, including dog bites in different parts of Delhi-NCR, directed the government as well as the civic authorities in Noida, Gurugram, Ghaziabad and Delhi to pick up stray dogs, sterilize them and move them permanently to shelters within a span of 8 weeks. Now, the court also issued a stern warning against any attempts to block the authorities from carrying out this particular drive. Now, let's in fact take you through the message on the social media that the leader of the opposition, the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has put out. And here's his message on the social media platform X. The Supreme Court's directive to remove all stray dogs from Delhi-NCR is a step back from decades of humane science-backed policy. These voiceless souls are not problems to be erased. Shelters, sterilization, vaccination and community care can keep streets safe without cruelty. Blanket removals are cruel, short-sighted and strip us of compassion. We can ensure public safety and animal welfare go hand in hand. So a very critical take on the part of the LOP against the Supreme Court order yesterday in this very critical matter that has actually divided public opinion as well as political opinion, because there are divided opinions even from within the Congress party, with other members of the party having taken a different stand than what Rahul Gandhi has. You've also seen other political voices like Swapan Das Gupta of the BJP as well taking a critical view of the Supreme Court order. Now, animal rights versus public safety, well, that's the debate now at the center of a very crucial Supreme Court order on stray dogs. Now, calling the dog bite situation as extremely grim, the Supreme Court has ruled yesterday that strays cannot be released back onto the streets after, of course, they've been put into shelters. The bench clarified that the directive was passed keeping public interest in mind, especially the safety of infants and vulnerable citizens. In a very strong remark, the court also questioned, can activists bring back rabies victims? The message is quite clear on the part of the top court. Public safety comes first.
We have more than 6 crore dogs in a free roaming state, which are unvaccinated and unneutered. This is a huge health and safety hazard. No country in the world has dogs in a free roaming state. Dogs obviously have a right to life, and they must be neutered, vaccinated, and moved to shelters, or people must adopt them. We can't have dogs in the street. And now the Supreme Court has stepped in because the situation is alarming, and perhaps their order is very severe. It can't be implemented in the short run, but this has definitely woken up all the stakeholders, and hopefully some middle ground will be reached.
शेल्टर तो एक भी नहीं है पूरे दिल्ली में, तो कहाँ डालेंगे? 3 लाख कुत्ते, 3 लाख कुत्तों को कौन से शेल्टर में आप डालेंगे? पहले तो दिल्ली सरकार को ये लिखा है कि 2 महीने के अंदर अंदर उनको शेल्टर, उसका असल नाम है पाउंड में डालना पड़ेगा. अब उसके लिए पाउंड बनाने पड़ेंगे. तो 1 पाउंड अभी 3 लाख कुत्तों के लिए आपको 3000 पाउंड बनाने पड़ेंगे, और वो भी वहां बनाने पड़ेंगे जहां कोई रहता नहीं है. अगर मान लो कोई जादू से हो भी गया तो फिर क्या होगा? 3 लाख कुत्तों को आप डालेंगे. सबसे पहले आपकी हाथापाई होगी हर गली में, क्योंकि लोग जो खिलाते हैं खड़े होकर के मारामारी करेंगे, इसको मत लेना, उसको मत लेना, शू शू करके भगा देंगे. आपका एक दिन जाएगा एक कुत्ते उठाने में.
Well, let's take this across to our guests now. We have Sonali Chopra joining us, advocate in the Delhi High Court and also an animal rights activist. We also have advocate Harsh Dahiya, a political analyst as well. Ms. Chopra, coming to you first, because I did, in fact, recall a statement that you had made yesterday as well, taking a critical view of what the Supreme Court has done. Basically, your view is that the court has taken a point of view that is in contravention of the existing rules. It has not declared the existing rules as ultra vires of the Constitution or declared them unconstitutional before proceeding to observe what it has, which is that all these stray dogs need to be taken off the streets and moved to shelters. So you believe that this is not just an impractical solution being offered by the Supreme Court, it's also illegal. Take us through why that is and what's the way forward. Do you appeal against what the Supreme Court has currently ruled?
So as we speak, legal teams, including myself, are in action, planning our next step. This is not going to lie as is. There is definitely multiple courses of legal action that are being explored and that will eventually be taken over. This is in addition to the general protest that is being done by all animal welfare, not just organizations, but individual caregivers as me. Yes, I agree this judgment is absolutely untenable in law, unfortunately. I think we are taught in school civics that there are different branches in a democracy and an executive and a judiciary are different. The law or the rules, as we call the ABC rules, are there since 2001, redone in 2023.
Correct.
Those rules till date, as we speak, stand and have not been thrown out, declared unconstitutional or ultra vires. So how are this one set of directions which are absolutely contrary to these rules sent out today? And the surprising part, yesterday I was going through the rules again, is the definition of shelters as given in the ABC rules and as we are now talking about them. Shelters, as per the rules, are a place where they cannot be left forever. They have been defined as a place where you can keep an abandoned or a street animal for rehabilitation or adoption. That is the definition of animal shelter as given in the ABC rules.
Okay.
And look at where we are today.
Okay, let's take this across to Mr. Dahiya as well. Mr. Dahiya, you're also an advocate. So do you believe that this particular order on the part of the Supreme Court yesterday is bad in law? Point number one. And do you believe it is practical?
Siddharth, I definitely believe it's not the most practical step that has been suggested by the Supreme Court. But, there was no other way. If you see why the Supreme Court reached this stage wherein they had to give in this strong order, that is because the civic authorities and the civil society failed in its duty to keep the population of stray dogs under control and keep children and elderly protected from them. What was happening is that, on a population of almost 2 crores in Delhi, there are 3 lakh stray dogs. In any developed country or in any developed society, such a stray dog problem would not exist in the first place. Dogs belong in people's houses. They need loving home. They need caring caretakers. They do not belong to the streets where they're exploited, where they have to suffer grave injuries day in, day out. And, because of that, they become aggressive. And sometimes these dogs, when these civic authorities, have seen that firsthand, when civic authorities come to sterilize or, give them vaccination, there are some self-proclaimed dog lovers. And my friend would also agree over here. They come and then they keep these dogs away from those civic authorities, because if the dogs are not sterilized properly, and this problem lies with the civic authorities and the civil society both, the dogs should have been sterilized, the population should not have gone out of control, and all the dogs should have been properly vaccinated. Because in human civilization, human's life matters more than any animal. I am speaking on the human morality bit, wherein a human life would matter more than anyone else. That is the basic fundamental of human civilization, and we cannot let the visuals playing on your screen itself. Sometimes it is not even the danger of rabies that is so dangerous, but a pack of dogs attacking people just because they are agitated, and then the kind of injuries these people would suffer and the mental trauma these people would suffer, that would be insane. And this cannot be allowed to happen. Okay,
Mr. Dahiya and Ms. Chopra, I beg your indulgence. If you could just wait for a few more minutes, we'll continue this conversation because we have some more reactions coming in to the order of the Supreme Court, which has divided public opinion. Here's Mr. Suhail Seth responding to the same.
It is indeed a very sad day for dog lovers and for lovers of pets or lovers of animals. The Supreme Court, in its wisdom, to my mind, has passed a judgment that will turn out to be draconian. There are solutions for what the Supreme Court believes is the problem. Rather than throw the baby with the bathwater, there are many things that society can do, that citizens can do. Sterilization of dogs doesn't require surgeries as it did in the past. There are injections available which are being used in countries like the United States. We need to be more compassionate, because while the Supreme Court has said that stray dogs must leave city limits and must be put in shelters and pounds, we know how weak sometimes the administration in these cities is. What we will see is death, culling. We will see inhuman treatment of these voiceless animals. Is this what we want?
Now, actor as well as stand-up comedian Veer Das has also weighed in on this polarizing debate on what needs to be done with stray dogs on the streets of NCR. And let me go across to my colleague Amita, who will take us through the social media post that Veer Das has put out on this raging debate. Yes, Amita.
So that not just Veer Das, multiple eminent personalities as well, dog lovers, if we can say. Of course, we are playing out how widely, as far as the nation's opinion is concerned, is divided on this case. But is it a menace, or as far as dog lovers have been calling this directive as illogical? Let's put that out in focus. Veer Das, as you mentioned, the top comedian, he seems to be now requesting people, if you are a resident of Delhi, please adopt an Indie, which is as far as native to India is concerned, saying that they are extremely healthy, low maintenance, will provide you with lots more love and affection and gratitude that you can ever imagine, and asking you to wholeheartedly and generously support your nearest animal welfare NGO. I plan on doing so, and I will hope that you will too. And this seems to be as far as his own pictures of dogs that he has also shared, and that is an appeal that he seems to be making to other dog lovers as well. Rahul Gandhi has also given out his opinion, where he says that the Supreme Court's directive to remove all stray dogs from Delhi-NCR is a step back from decades of humane, science-backed policy. These voiceless souls are not problems to be erased, but there are shelters, sterilization, vaccination, and community care can keep streets safe without cruelty. Blanket removals are cruel, short-sighted, and strip us of compassion. So he said, as we just heard him, that is the reaction that came in, that a country that can't care for its animals, especially dogs, is not a country that is compassionate. The Supreme Court is so wrong on this one, said both as a dog lover and a proud Indian. Someone needs to file a review petition soonest. Swapan Das Gupta is also of the point of view saying that the type of canine cleansing advocated in the name of law is unconscionable, and also there is a bonding that invariably develops between community and its street dogs. Some people will never appreciate. Simi Garwal, also a dog lover, she has said to start a petition saying that please sign this petition for the voiceless. They will starve and kill these beautiful animals under the guise of shelter. Please help us save them from this cruel, inhuman order from the Supreme Court. So as I said, Siddharth, opinion is divided.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Amita. Let me take this across to our guest once again, Ms. Chopra. Is adopting a stray dog even an option? Because going by what the Supreme Court said yesterday, it took a very critical view of people who are trying to interfere with the order of the Supreme Court, and it said that action might be taken against them if NGOs or activists or citizens prevent the authorities from carrying out this drive. What do you have to say about that observation made by the Supreme Court yesterday?
So what was suggested to the Honorable Supreme Court was that once the dog is picked up and taken to the shelter, and after its sterilization and immunization, the dog can be put up for adoption. That is a suggestion that was rejected.
Okay.
Saying that overnight, I think where the court was presumably coming from is that overnight animal activists, animal welfare, animal lovers will come and adopt the dogs and release them back on the streets, is what I could logically put, how I could put perspective to this.
Okay.
But at the moment, currently, please go ahead. If you have the bandwidth to adopt an Indie from an NGO, from a caregiver, please go and adopt them. No one can stop you right now.
Mr. Dahiya, a very quick question. There's a serious problem of infrastructure here, because the existing ABC units, even if you were to convert them into a permanent shelter overnight, according to one assessment, they can only accommodate around 5,000 dogs. And you're dealing with almost 6 to 7 lakh dogs in the streets of Delhi-NCR. So is this a very impractical suggestion on the part of the court? And don't you believe that this 8-week time limit that's been given to the authorities is very limited indeed?
Siddharth, like I started my viewpoint on that, it is definitely impractical. The infrastructure doesn't exist at this particular moment, but that is the only way forward. Until unless court puts a time limit on it, no civic authorities would be doing their job. Because, had court not come in on this particular issue, this issue would have gone on for one more decade, and then the situation would have gone more out of hand, and then something would have been done. So ultimately, see, adoption is the only option, definitely. Like I mentioned, that these dogs belong in loving houses, not on the streets. I've been to more than 30-40 countries, and nowhere apart from India I have seen stray dogs littering on the streets. It is only in India wherein our morality is so misplaced that we love dogs, but we love dogs when they're on the streets, not in our house. So for any dog lover, the dog needs to be in their house. They need to take care of them. The dog doesn't belong on the street at all.
All right, Mr. Dahiya and Ms. Chopra, thank you so much for weighing in on this very pressing issue indeed, and we'll wait and see as to what ultimately happens with the expectation that there is the likelihood of more petitions being filed in the Supreme Court to challenge what the court has said yesterday. Thanks a lot for your participation in this. We'll take a short break.